Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wa mursalin sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma rabbana shrah lana sudurana yassir lana umurana kaffir lana sayyi'atina tawaffana ma'ruf. Alhamdulillah, I hope that everyone is keeping well, and thank you so much for making the time to attend this final session of the great course in the guided study of book 13 of the Ihya, Kitab the Bukasat wal Ma'ash, the book of the proprieties of earning and living, which we finished actually over the course of 11 modules. And this last module, 12th module, is focused on what can we summarize from that classical text. So we were supposed to do the last module 12 two or 3 weeks ago, but then we spent too much time discussing the contracts, and so that kind of took away the time from a proper reading of the last the paper that we intended to be the topic for the last session, which is introduction to the Islamic Gift Economy, which we can understand to be our summary of the economic philosophy of book 13 on the ethics of living, of earning and living. So, and after that we had the QA session, and then after that we have the fantastic presentation by Mr. Stephanie from Canada. I think that was very good, and I intend to write a commentary on his presentation so that it can be of more benefit. And therefore, I thought that we should have like a special last bonus session to focus on the paper on the introduction to the Islamic Gift Economy. So we have sent you 2 papers. One is a very short one, which is the Islamic Gift introduction to the Islamic Gift Economy, which is a outline of the main paper for this session, which is entitled "The Golden Mean and the Golden Rule: Iqtisad, Livelihoods, and the Economics of Purpose." So we shall read this paper, "The Golden Mean and the Golden Rule: Iqtisad, Livelihoods, and the Economics of Purpose." So I assume that all you have that paper, and we shall I shall read through. So we shall spend roughly 1 hour of reading through, and then 1 hour open for discussion. Right. And then after the class is over, I shall send you supplementary papers that will elaborate more on the on this paper, because thinking about the economic philosophy of book 13 of the Ihya requires quiet time for us to read, and then to reimagine our purpose for doing work, for engaging in business, in enterprise, and how that relates uh, to the well-being of ourselves, our families, and our communities. So, so we cannot avoid finding time to read and to reflect, uh, because uh, because this understanding that comes from from studying and the ethics of livelihoods from our tradition uh, will help us to be creative uh, in rebuilding uh, an economy that conform to our values as Muslim, or even our values as decent, as as normal, reasonable human being. Because at the end of the day, the economy must serve the people, the planet, and serve the common good, and cannot be something uh, that serve the interests of the few. So okay, and after that, inshallah, at the end of the okay, we shall close the class with award of the certificates. I shall announce the award of the certificates of attendance, and also the certificate of guided study to approximately 12 students who qualify for the certificates, because they have attended live sufficient number of classes. All right. And the certificate I shall announce, and we shall send the certificates through email in PDF, and then uh, you can inshallah, if you like, can print out the certs on good quality paper, and you can frame it and hang it on your wall, and that can be a remembrance and a motivation. All right, okay, with that, I'll jump straight into the paper. um, I mean, you can so so I'm going to read, and then you may take notes, and then so to save time, uh, first hour I just read, and then you take notes, and then the second hour we open for question and for discussion. All right, and I prefer that you, if possible, try to speak out, or to say out your question and your comments, because I want the class to be interactive. All right, thank you. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The golden mean and the golden rule, iqtisad, livelihoods, and economics of purpose. So basically, the golden mean means temperance. It means moderation, sederhana in Malay. So moderation, uh, 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 moderation, and not going to extreme, uh, and then temperance, and the golden rule refers to justice. So refers to fair play, refer to not doing harm to anyone. And the golden mean means we do not go to extreme in consumption, or in spending, or in using resources. So iqtisad is the Arabic term for the economy, which has also the meaning of justice and purpose, and 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 it also contains the meaning of golden mean, moderation, and justice. So the word iqtisad, uh, in Malay, iqtisad, the word iqtisad is full of ethical and moral meaning, which means that for Muslim or for any ethical people, the economics is cannot be separated from ethics, right? Uh, so livelihoods is that relates to anything that we do to earn a living, whether we work for pay or whether we do farming or industry. So livelihoods, sara hidup in Malay, and economics of purpose, and there has to be a purpose to the economy, because the word economy itself means purpose. What is the purpose for your work? What is the purpose for opening a business? What is your purpose for farming? What is your purpose for having wealth? So without that purpose, that sense of purpose that transcend the ego, that go beyond filling your stomach. Without that sense of purpose, then wealth or business can be destructive, right? Because then you just do it for hedonistic, uh, just for your uh, so uh, so because we are human beings, and we have both bodies and soul, and therefore when we engage in economic activities, on the one hand we want to earn livelihood, right, to feed our body so that we can survive, so that we can do things, but then we also have a soul, right? And that means that the way we engage in economic activities also has to feed the soul. The soul means our non-physical, as I mean the non-physical aspects of our humanity, meaning our emotion, our social relation, our spiritual life. Uh, so so all that is also part and parcel of what makes us a complete, a huge, a human being, right? So and I begin this paper with a citation from the Quran, is verse Surah 25, which is the Surah Al Furqan, verse 63, which goes in Arabic, wa ibadur rahman alladhina yamshuna alal ardi haunan. The servants of the merciful are they who treat or who walk lightly on the earth, meaning that that we as the servants of Allah, the most merciful, we are Allah has described us, I mean the true servants of Allah, the most merciful, as those people who walk, who do things, who interact on the earth uh, uh, lightly, or with gentleness, with humility, right? So so that so that so that means the servants of the merciful are they who have who cultivate an ethical, moral relationship with the earth, including all the creatures and the inhabitants on the earth. So the question is that uh, how can we go about uh, having a moral relationship with the earth through our economic activities, right? So for 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 we can see that much of modern economic activities actually cause much destruction on the earth, like pollution, like harming people, like let's say uh, exploitation of of, uh, of workers. So anything that harm the earth and its people uh, uh, is not uh, is not is not the character of uh, a people who are supposed to be the servants of the most merciful, right? So 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 if we claim to be servants of Ar-Rahman, and if we as Muslim we always every time we say Bismillah Rahman Rahim, in the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most beneficent. So we have to think, is the way that we do things through our economic activities, uh, is the way merciful or merciless, right? So that's something we need to reflect. All right. Okay, so I'll jump straight into the text. Revisiting the economy, meaning we rethink the term economy or the concept, right? So a quick background: in the wake of the 2007-2009 financial and economic meltdown, for those who are old enough to remember that crash due to subprime mortgage, right? Of that which started in the US and then spread out through the world. So in the wake of the 2007-2009 financial and economic meltdown, a lot of intellectual and practical work has been done. Has things been done in the area of monetary and economic reform. Activists, business people, intellectuals, researchers, scholars, even farmers are increasingly formally and informally networked throughout the world to take back the economy, right? Meaning take back the economy from the greedy corporation, take back the economy from the greedy banks, right? Big banks, which that were the cause of the crisis. So take back the economy is actually a book that was written, and uh, the references to the book is in the footnote. So in the footnote, you'll find many references to Excel readings that you can look up in your free time, and many of these readings can be downloaded for free from the internet. I mean, in the footnotes, I also give the links to most of the text and books and papers cited in my paper, and many of these resources you can Google, and you can actually download for free and for free. So to set such constructive reform work in a larger conceptual context or discursive framework, we may do well here to briefly revisit the meaning of the term economy or economics. Okay, so although this revisiting here is here approached from an Islamic intellectual historical point of departure, because I'm focusing on Muslim, so much of my discourse is framed within the Islamic worldview. But because economics has to do with public, I mean, have to do with public life, and public life uh, is founded on public ethics. I mean, the ethics of transactional relationship between people and people. And in public life, you interact not just, although we are Muslim, but in public life we interact not only with Muslim, we interact with Christian, with Hindus, uh, with people of other religion. And economic is a that domain of religion that pertains to public life, and in public life, public ethics apply. In private life, like life in your own home or in your mosque, then of course the ethics of ibadah. So so that is private. But then when the moment you go out of your homes, you go out of your masjid, you engage in business, you engage in politics, you engage in public life. Therefore, there we have to understand what is Islamic public ethics. So economics in Islam is understood in our tradition as that part of ethics that relate to how we deal, how we transact with people, Muslim or non-Muslim, in public life, right? So, and in public life, then the ethics of the golden rule applies, meaning the ethics of to desire for others the good that you desire for yourself, right? And to do good to to uh, to uh, to honor thy neighbor, to honor thy guest, right? So all that is foundational when it comes to public life, right? So and it is in this domain of public ethics that Muslims have a lot in common with the public ethical vision of other religions, right? So when it comes to public ethics among the different religions, the basic rule is the golden rule, right? To do good unto others, Muslim or non-Muslim, just as you desire them to do good unto you. Right? That is the golden rule. Uh, so so although this revisiting is here approached from an Islamic intellectual historical point of departure, it brings into relief certain core ethical moral precepts pertaining to the socio-economic domain of life that will be found to resonate very well with the ethical moral systems of other faith traditions, including traditional non-Western philosophies such as Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, including African Ubuntu philosophy, Confucianism, and Gandhian, Mahatma Gandhian economic thought, as well as with the general ethical tenor of much of the dynamic ongoing intellectual revisioning of economics and finance now being undertaken in the West from the perspective of what we may call critical humanism. So, to summarize, okay, this I'm speaking from experience because I've dialogue and also work with non-Muslim uh, in uh, uh, in the domain of economic justice, in the domain of right livelihood, and uh, and we all share this common ethical language, meaning the golden mean, moderation, and the golden rule to do good to others, to be mutually good to one another when it comes to uh, when it comes to uh, transaction among people. Uh, all right. Um, okay. So next we go to the question of what is the economy. So the word economy is of Greek provenance, oikonomia, from which we also derive the term economics, right? As the study of the economy. So economics is a study of the economy, right? So it can be a Western economy. Most of us study Western economy, right? We go to university and we study economics, whether in Malaysia or Indonesia or in the US or UK, and we use the same textbook. We follow the same Western understanding of economics, and we call that economics, right? But 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 before the rise of the West, there has been, I mean, there were many different economics. You have the economics of the Muslim, of the Islamic tradition. You have the economics of the Hindu tradition. Have the economics of China based on Confucianism, right? Based on the notion of ha harmony between heaven and earth, right? So it's only today due to the influence of the West, when we talk about economics, it's only about Adam Smith. It's only about modern capitalist uh, economics, right? Okay, but so, for example, like in Malaysia and Indonesia, traditionally we have the system of gotong royong, right? So we can, and we can ask a question. If we are a researcher, we can ask the question, what was the economics of this system of gotong royong, right? See, or which is actually the economics of cooperation, right? Which totally different from the current mainstream Western economics of competition. It's totally different type of economics. All right. But anyway, the point here is that economics as science is the study of the economy, and economy can be Western economy, it can be Eastern economy, it can be Islamic economy, it can be Buddhist economy, right? And so on and so forth. So just as there were and are and still are, okay, just as we have diversity of cultures and diversity of belief system and diversity of civilization, so likewise we have a diversity of economics, right? But because of westernization, we only think of economics as defined by the West. All right. But in general, economics just simply means the study of the economy. So the word oikonomia originally means household management, Arabic tadbir al manzil, or the management of the family homestead, habitation or settlement. Thus, economics is seen as distinct from ethics, which is the management of the self, ilm al-akhlaq. So self-management, that is management of yourself. I mean, you make sure that you behave properly, you make sure that you cultivate the virtues, you control your lust, you control your shahwat, you control your whims, so that you do what is right, and what doing what is wrong, and that is self-management or self-discipline. And the science of self-discipline is called akhlak or tadbir and nafs, meaning mentadbir nafsu sendiri, right? But economics is the management of the family, meaning when after you have managed yourself properly, then after that you manage your family. You begin to manage people and things that are outside of yourself, right? And the closest people outside of you are your family, your closest family, and by extension, your relatives, right? So, and politics. So we have economics, and then which is the management of the family or the homestead, or traditionally it also means the management of the settlement, which is like can be the kampung, right? A kampung is just one big extended family, right? Traditionally, when people settle in a place or in a neighborhood, I mean, there were not nuclear families, just mom, dad, and kids, but they were like one big extended family. Like for instance, and I'm living in Terengganu in a with my wife-in-law. So the in-laws, my wife-in-law is considered part of the family, just one extended family, right? So so the uncles and aunties, and then okay, they are seen to be like the extension of your parents. I mean, they're just like, so it's not just the current modern father, mom, dad, and kids in the in a condominium, a nuclear family. But last time, in fact, and still now, uh, in many in most rural areas of Malaysia and Indonesia, balik kampung means you balik to your extended family, and in the extended family, yeah, of course you have the elder, okay, maybe the great, maybe the grandfather or the great grandfather or the great grandmother, who is considered to be the elder, orang tua, who to whom everyone show respect and go for advice. So 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 that was the original meaning uh, of the economy, meaning the original meaning of the economy is quite localized. It's more focused on the local community, on taking care of the local community, right? Uh, and then okay, so we have the economics, the management of the family or of the local community, and then when you have a collection of communities, when you have a collection of kampungs and then a collection of pekans and small towns, then you form a country or you form a negeri, right? And therefore, and when the community grows and become a network of communities, then you begin to have a country, or you begin to have a nation. And then when that happens, then we go into the question of the management of the country, or the management of a big network of communities, like a big city. So, and when we talk of a bigger body of people consisting of many different families, many different communities, then we go into the realm of politics, which is the management of the city, or siyasa al-Madinah, or tadbir al-Madinah, meaning the and uh, and and a big uh, and a city can be a small country like Singapore or like Brunei, but it can be a big country like Indonesia. So uh, so together, these three fields of traditional philosophical inquiry, ethics, management of yourself, economics, management of your family and your local community, and then politics, management of the country. So all these three domains of study uh, constitute practical wisdom, or hikmah amalia, the wisdom that is applied. Because it require a lot of wisdom, like which is like applied justice to cultivate good personal morals, and then when and then to and then you need also, uh, another level of practical wisdom to manage your family or your community. And then if you are a minister or president or king or a the mayor of a city, then you go into politics, which is a higher degree, and then you have to apply a higher level of practical wisdom uh, to manage uh, a bigger group of people. So everything is ethical, right? An ethical management of yourself, an ethical management of your family and of your community, and then an ethical management of uh, of uh, of a big population, right? Of a country or of a city. And the best ethic is to here is to establish justice and to establish a like balance uh, in society. So 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 ethics, economics, and politics, uh, although they seem to be so 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 I mean, uh, the difference between them is just a matter of degree. For example, ethics mean you're concerned about self, about inculcating the virtues, the good qualities on yourself. And economics, you inculcate the virtues onto your family and your community. And then in politics, you promote the virtues on society. So so the three uh, domains of ethics, economics, and politics can be seen as like a like a series of three concentric circles. So in the center is a self, so ethics, and then the middle circle is the family and the local community, economics, and then the outer biggest circle is the domain of politics, when you manage a country or a big city. So all these three fields of philosophy, ethics, economics, and politics, they are all understood to uh, to to deal with the application of practical wisdom uh, on in daily life. Um, okay, so anyway, so but here we focus more on economics or household management. So in household management or stewardship, the uh, the overriding concern of the head or steward of the household is the prudent, judicious management and stewardship of the resources, income, and expenditure of the household, so as to provide uh, for the needs of all its members and dependents, humans and non-humans. So you have a homestead. So you're taking care of course, your family members. If you have livestock, you're taking care of your livestock. Some of us were in the power school program, right? Of course, and of course, you have the family of the principal of the school, Mr. Kumara. But then they have goats, and the goats are part of the family, right? You have to take care of them. Then they have like fruit trees, so they're part of the family. And then but of course, and then you also have the physical infrastructure of the household. You have your house, you have the barn, the so all these resources, human and non-human, have to be taken care of in the best manner possible, so that the household can generate surplus of food or income, so that the family can go on and survive and thrive. So in a typical household, or rather homestead or settlement, relatively more resources are allocated and devoted to the care and provision of the needs of the disabled and weak, babies, children, the elderly, those with handicaps, while the less dependent and hence more independent members, the grown-ups, the able-bodied, are pretty much left on their own devices to fend for themselves and are expected to contribute to the share of work or labor towards ensuring the overall livelihood and general well-being of the household. So uh, and that also applies to traditionally to 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 communities, right? Uh, so like in the traditional kampong, the penghulu, during the power school program, we have a closing session where we invited the penghulu, or the head of the district of Pesari Jaya, that local township. So the penghulu is like the local big father, right? Uh, and then so his duty is to look towards the, the welfare of his community, right? But so right so right so that means in a healthy community, if, with a healthy economy, we will never find the poor or the weak or the disabled or the handicapped to be left untended or to be marginalized and homeless, right? Because they're taken care of by the community. So a true community is like a big family, and we know that in a good family with responsible parents, I mean, we will never uh, neglect the babies, the weak, the handicapped. We will never neglect our elderly parents or grandparents. I mean, there's always a sense of like proactive help or proactive assistance to the weaker members of the community in a healthy community. Whereas then, whereas the able or the group, the grown ups, the adults, and those who can work, I mean, they work, then they contribute to to the overall welfare of the community, right? So, and that was what we saw in the power school, right? So, so we find that, let's say, through the power school, a initiative of Mr. Komaran and some of his friends like Mr. Johan Abdullah. I mean, they are the able-bodied people in the community. They have some training, they have some knowledge, and they figure out ways to help the poor in the community, which is which they consider be part of the extended family. So so the point here is that is how we understand the economy uh, traditionally or Islamically. I mean, if we are aware of this ethical meaning of economics, not the current unethical science, Western science of economics. Okay, now the village, city, or the country as a whole can be seen as an extended household in which the steward or caretaker, called the local, municipal, or national government or authority, is likewise expected to show similar care and concern for the weak, the poor, the disadvantaged of the population, and to secure the common good, the maslahah, right? Therefore, we have the economy extending from the level of the family to the level of the city or community, kampung, pekan, then to the level of the country, uh, and ultimately to the level of the earth, right? So oikonomia, the whole inhabited world, as a macro household. And that's why part of our task as Muslim on earth is to be steward, or to do a stewardship of the earth. But then the stewardship of the earth is based on the stewardship of the self, and and by extension the stewardship of the family and community, and by extension the stewardship of the country, and then the stewardship of the earth. So so all that summarizes the Islamic practical philosophy, which is maybe something that is largely forgotten today, because today Muslim only focus on the private devotional part of the religion, namely the ibadat, meaning like the prayers, the salat, the fasting, uh, the psalm, maybe the hajj. But 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 the moment we go out of the mosque, the moment we go out of the home, we are engaged in the management of people, right? Whether on a small scale, or on a big scale, we are engaged in doing things on the earth through our economic activities. So the question is, what are the ethics of khilafah? How should we go about being stewards of the earth? Right. So that requires a science, and this science uh, is taught in the tradition. Is in Muamalah, is in the Adab text, like uh, is in but Muslim have neglected these signs of management of people, of creation of the earth, because most of us uh, focus only on the ibadah, and then when it comes to economics, most of us only learn the Western understanding of economics, which is based on selfish competition, uh, and not based on ethics. All right. So from this deep, so I mean, I'm going to read everything. There's no time to read everything, but I just so so in this perspective, economics and ecology to us are one and the same science, right? You see, like that, the thing is that economics cannot just be about how we invest wealth, like money, because in economics you do things with the earth. You use resources from the earth. You use minerals. You use trees. You use wood, oil. All this comes from the earth, and therefore, so and therefore, the science of economics cannot avoid overlapping with ecology, with understanding the natural ecosystem, so that in the way we use resources or take resources from the earth, we do it in such a way that does not disturb the ecosystemic balance in the earth, right? So we cannot separate the science of economics from the science of ecology, right? And that was why after the Power School course, we also organized uh, an intensive workshop on synthropic agroforestry, so that the way we do farming, the way we do agriculture, the way we do livestocking, we do it in such a way that is in harmony with the natural ecosystem. right? So that there is a symbiosis between the needs of human beings and the needs of other non-human uh, creatures on the earth, right? And moreover, since in the Quran we have this verse in Surah Rahman, which goes وَعِبَادْ وَالْأَرْضَ وَضَعَهَا لِلْأَنَامِ. Right? So Allah says in Surah Ar-Rahman, the earth Allah has spread out, has laid out for all His creatures, not only for human beings. For human beings, but also all other creatures have their right to live and to survive and to thrive on the earth. So we have so the way we do things on the earth and use the resources of the earth has to be done with respect to the rights of other creatures, plants, other species, right? And we cannot disturb the ecosystem. So and uh, and there are ways to do this, right? To permaculture, to organic farming, to natural farming, to through syntropic agroforestry, through the revival of our traditional Islamic science of ilaha, through and now we have many modern green technology like biomimicry, like green chemistry, and so on and so forth. That and we even have an alternate and now there are many alternative schools of economics that that take into consideration the maintenance of the natural ecosystem of the earth, such as uh, the uh, the science of ecological economics. I mean, you can Google ecological economics, which is the science of how to how to harmonize between economics and ecology, and out of that symbiosis between economics and ecology, we have the science of ecological economics. So, so, so Muslims should be aware of uh, of these these positive alternative, constructive alternative, but that is part and parcel of being stewards, of being Khalifa on the earth. Steward means Allah has placed us on the earth to do worship first. Secondly, to do imara al-ard, to settle on the earth, to form villages, have families, have communities, and to live together in peace and harmony and ethically, and to deal with people with fairness and justice. And that's imara al-ard, meaning to settle, to inhabit ethically and morally on the earth. And the third duty of human beings on earth is to be steward, to take care of creation, right? To ensure that there is balance and, and harmony, and to ensure that in anything that we do in private or in public, that we do not disturb the harmony, the mizan that Allah has, that the Creator uh, has has ordained for uh, for uh, for the planet and for all its inhabitants. So all that is included in our understanding of iqtisad, in our understanding of economics. All right. Then let's jump to the next section on the purposive economy. So, so the fact of the matter is that economics, iqtisad, which means the seeking or realization of what is judicious. So, so the term economics in Arabic, iqtisad, it means mencari, menuntut apa yang sama, apa yang munasabah, apa yang adil. So mainly seeking of what is judicious, seeking of what is right, what is ethical, and what is moral, right? The seeking of what is moderate, like moderation. So, so it is a science of earning and not land, earning and provisioning. In اقتصاد والإنفاق. So it's the science of how we earn our livelihood and how we give provision out of what we earn, and how we go about doing that, all in a judicious, in a wise and balanced and moderate manner, right? So we earn through farming or business or trading or in or industry, and from what we earn, we gain the wealth to for what? Not for consumption, actually, because the word consumption means to use up. It has no purpose. It just pakai. Oh, guna. Kita ni bukan pengguna. Kita ni penginfak. We are not consumer. We are providers. Like for instance, we go and farm. Let's say we go and farm rice, or we go and fish, or we go out to work and earn some money. So the purpose of that is to provide for yourself. First, of course, you provide food for yourself, so you gain the energy, so you can you can survive, you can live a comfortable life, so that you can support your family, right? So that you can be independent of people, and so that because you are independent of people, you can help those who are in need. So it's not just consumption, but if people ask, oh, we you grow food to eat, meaning you grow food to consume, but what is the point of eating? The point of eating is to provide nutrition to your body, right? See, so not just eating meat to fill your tummy, right? Yeah, you eat meat to fill your tummy, but then the meat or the rice is digested, and the nutrition, the nutrients are absorbed by the body, and the waste products are expelled. So, so the nutrients, and from the nutrients we gain energy to do what? To do good, to be so that you can take care of the family, so that you can maintain social relations, so that you can nurture your emotional, your spiritual, your social life, right? So it's not just it's not indulgence. It's not eating for eating's sake. It's not consuming for consuming sake, right? There's always a higher purpose that transcend the tummy, that transcend the mere good taste in the mouth. Or someone like, I mean, we spend so much time cooking, and then the eating time is just maybe 5 minutes. You know, I mean, we can spend the whole morning cooking a nice curry daging, right? Or like meat curry. But then when it comes to the meal, it's all finished in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And then what? You see, it does not make sense to spend so much time cooking, and before that maybe growing and taking care of your sheep or goats, and then when it comes to the eating part, the consuming part, it's just like 5 minutes. After that, you have to clean up, which can be a few more hours, right? So if consuming was the purpose, then it's meaningless, all right? The taste on the mouth, it's just fleeting, right? So that means there has to be a deeper meaning to the eating. There has to be a deeper and higher meaning to the consuming, which is to provide nutrients, so that the nutrients can provide you the energy to do what? To do good, to yourself. So you study, you increase in spiritual and intellectual growth, then you give help to people in your community, you engage in good works, right? So 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 consumption is not the end of the economy. The end of the economy is provision, right? It's provision, meaning to provide for yourself, to provide for your family, to provide for your relatives, to provide for your community, to provide for the poor around you, to provide, meaning to honor your guests, to honor your neighbor, especially when your neighbor is in need, and then to provide for the public interest. And this provision can be both material and can be social. It can be non-material, right? So that means that in this understanding, the purpose of the economy is not just material, right? The material side is there, but then there is also a higher moral side, right? And the moral, the spiritual side, that is a higher side, and that is a higher purpose, right? So we can say that, and the spiritual side of the economy is that for us that means that that through the economy we uh, we we use we make use of resources that the creator has provided for us, and use resources to do what is good, to spread what is good, and the goodness that we do on earth will become a provision for our salvation and for our felicity in the next life, right? So ultimately, uh, whatever that we do here has to be directed ultimately towards providing for our salvation in the next life, right? So, and this part, the ultimate purpose is salvation in the next life, so that we we meet Allah, or we meet our creator with a sound heart, with a sound conscience. Yauma la yanfa'u malun, yauma la yanfa'u malun, wala banun illa man atallaha biqalbin salim. So on that day, your children, all your kids, and your wealth shall be of no use to you, except for those who come to the meeting with their Lord with a sound conscience, with a sound heart, called bin Salim, that you can meet Allah, and that you can say, oh, I went through life, both in the Ibadah part and in the Muamala part, both in the private devotional part of my life and in the public transactional part of my life. And I went through that life, and I've done it ethically and morally, and therefore I meet you, O Lord, and I present my deeds to you with a clear conscience. And that is the ultimate purpose. And all this is mentioned in detail in the text, the book of the proprieties of earning and living, that we have read over 11 sessions, right? Especially chapter 5 of Kitab the Bukasat wa Ma'ash, chapter 5, which is actually entitled on the person, on the concern of the person for his or her soul in the process of engaging in economic activities. So like, okay, so we go to work and we are trying to earn some money, to buy food, to have a house, and then so those are the immediate material purpose, which is of course needed because we are okay, we are human beings and we have a bodies, and we have a body that we need to take care of, and we have dependents that we need to feed. Okay, good. But then we also have to take care of our soul. We also have to take care of the non-material side of our humanity, meaning our soul and our conscience. Meaning that, okay, I go out to earn a living, or I go out to do business, or go out to work, but I have to do it in a way that is ethical, that in a way that is halal, that a way that is wholesome, that's a way that is just, a way that does not exploit people, and does not harm the environment, right? Therefore, in this understanding, so we go out to work or to do business to seek profit. But then this profit is understood to be of two dimensions. One dimension is a financial and the material, and the other dimension is the moral, the ethical, and the spiritual. And they are both two sides of the same coin called profit. So in this understanding, profit that is merely understood in the monetary or material sense is not really profit. Right? Profit must be understood in both its material, financial, and also its non-material, its spiritual, moral, and ethical, and social aspect. Only that integrated, only that in integrated understanding of profit is the true profit. All right. See, so all that is discussed and explained in great detail by Imam Al Ghazali in his book 13 of the Ihya that we have read over 11 sessions. All right. So okay. So let's jump to cost. So the word iqtisad comes from the word qasad. Qasad. So qasad means judiciousness, prudence, thriftiness, moderation, temperance, frugality in the acquisition and disposal of wealth. From the root word qasad, we derive the Arabic term for economy, iqtisad, which gives us the meaning of the seeking out or realization of what is judicious and prudent. Another meaning of the term qasad is goal and aim and objective, direction and purpose. And thus the term iqtisad has also the meaning of the seeking out or realizing the true purpose of something. All right. So, for example, it's totally legal or halal or legitimate to be rich. I mean, you can go out, we have business, and it's totally uh, I mean, it's even praiseworthy to be wealthy. But then the question is, what is your purpose for being wealthy? What is your purpose for acquiring wealth? You see, what is our purpose for becoming rich? Also so so on the first hand, okay, uh, on the one hand, we have to make sure that the way we acquire wealth has to be through ethical, moral, legal, and wholesome means, right? Not based on justice, based on ihsan, even. All right. So that is just non-negotiable. So suppose you start a business and it's ethical and it's moral and it's organic and it's fair wages to your workers and fair prices to your customers, and you pay your zakat and you alhamdulillah, so that's good. So still you you acquire a lot of wholesome wealth from your business, but then or from your job, but then okay, and then you have a then you can provide for yourself and for your family comfortably. So you have a comfortable house, you have a like comfortable transport, so you're in and still have extra. So what do you do with, so the whole question is what do you do with your extra wealth that that is that I mean that is more than you need to have a comfortable life, right? So 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 in the Islamic understanding, so you acquire wealth first to provide for yourself, meaning to provide a reasonable uh, standard of living for yourself, right, and your family. And you if you have more, then you provide for members of your families who are poor, who are in need. So we have poor parents, you have to provide for them. You have uh, poor relatives, then you need to provide for them. Uh, and then if you have more, then you provide for the people who are in need in your community or extended family, and you do that by paying zakat, which is obligatory, but then we also encourage to do more. We may set up foundation or wakaf, like charitable foundation, or we can set up a social business. We can use our extra wealth to invest in a social business, the profit of which, or the net profit of which, is to support some charity, some need in society. So uh, so that is the understanding of wealth, and that is the understanding of the purpose for being rich, right? So the purpose for being rich is to enrich others. After you have provided for yourself and for your family, then the only and that's why we read in the Sirah. In fact, we read in Ihya book 20, which focus on the life of the Prophet Sallallahu. We read that every evening the Prophet Sallallahu would go out of his house, of his home, searching, looking for the poor, to whom he would give his extra money, right? And we read many of the companions were very rich, like Abdul Rahman wa Auf, because many of the companions, especially if there were Meccans, I mean, they were expert in commerce and trade, so they have like fabulous wealth. So what did they do with their wealth? They did not just they did not they were not drowned in luxury. They were, on the one hand, they're rich, but then their personal life was like frugal, or like moderate, because much of their wealth uh, is was redirected towards investing in the well-being of the community, in wakaf, in setting up foundation, right? Many of the companions, the Sahaba, they have lands, they have like big farmlands, and many of them, like, okay, they dedicate their farmlands as land trust to for the provision of the poor. So so the question is the question is that so the real test of the wealthy of anyone who has anything extra is, what is your purpose for this extra stuff? What is your purpose for the extra money? What is your purpose for this extra house or extra car, extra whatever? What is your purpose? Right? What is your purpose for the extra food? Right. So so that is a question, because at the end of the day, we are going to leave everything behind, right? And therefore, and then we bring nothing but our good or bad deeds to the meeting with our Lord in the last day, right? And we shall be questioned. Oh, you have so much wealth. What did you do with your wealth? What, you have so many profitable businesses. What did you do with your businesses, right? And indeed, the more wealth we have when we die, the more we shall be called to account, right? See, and that can be a tough process. Even if all our wealth is halal and tayyib, the question is, okay, your wealth is halal, your extra houses or apartments or condo or cars, I mean, yeah, or halal. But then the question, okay, what is the purpose, right? You see, so the whole idea is that so the question of purpose reminds us of the three main ethics of permaculture. The first ethic of permaculture is care for people. The second ethics of permaculture is care for the earth. And the third ethics of permaculture is to reinvest surplus in people and planet. So meaning that at the end of the day, we need to have this purpose of recycling or reinvesting our wealth in our extra wealth into promoting maslahah, into promoting the overall well-being of the community, or to promote the common good. Especially today, like in Malaysia and in many countries in the world, where there is a big gap between the rich and the poor, and there's so many problems in society, so many poor and homeless and refugees. So if our extra wealth is not directed into helping to fulfill that those needs in society, then our wealth can be of no purpose, even if halal. You see, so in Islam we have many mechanism for the reinvestment or the recirculation of wealth into the larger society. Of course, you have the zakat, which like you have like zakat on your personal wealth of gold and silver, have zakat on your business if your business have a certain on amount of asset, zakat on farming, zakat on livestock. So but then, so apart from the obligatory zakat, there's Muslim are also encouraged, right? Not obligatory, but encouraged to reinvest their wealth in other ways by setting up foundation or wakaf, by investing in the poor, like the BMT system of community micro equity financing, right? The Baitul Muwatam system, in which surplus from the well-off in the community was collected into the setting up of a cooperative, which dedicate these funds towards investing in the poor, like to get the poor off the streets, and then to train them to engage in income generating activities so they can be independent. So right, so and as a matter of fact, I mean, when we look at the contracts in Islam and look into the whole system of fiqh of muamalah, the science of buying and selling, the science of partnership, the science of investment, the overall vision is the systematic reinvestment and recirculation of surplus wealth into the rest of society, whether through zakat or through obligatory mechanism like zakat, or to voluntary mechanism like gifting and endowments and proactive investment to uplift the economy of the poor, right? And so 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 here the purposive economy, or the economy of purpose, is the economy of provision, not the economy of consumption. And even the consumption part is for the purpose of provision. All right. And ultimately, the highest provision is the provision of our salvation in the afterlife, right? Because we want to come to our eventual meeting with the Lord and say, I have done good with my wealth. I have done good with with all the bounties that you, my Lord, has bestowed upon me. Right? So it is not for my personal self-indulgence. And therefore, when we read the stories of the Prophet ﷺ and the story of the companions, many of them were wealthy. In fact, the Prophet himself was wealthy. But personally, they live a life of moderation because their wealth is largely reinvested into uplifting the general welfare of the community, and thereby the whole system of economy in Islam is, I mean, we can call it the economics of the economics of recirculation, right? Whereas the modern Western economics is the economics of accumulation, right? To accumulate for the sake of accumulation, and therefore now we have the 1% who are over accumulated versus the rest, the 99% who are like, who have almost nothing. See? No. So whole idea is that whole idea of having surplus or having extra wealth or extra resources is to reinvest or recirculate your extra wealth in the rest of society. And it's something that we do out of our personal sense of moral agency. It has nothing to do with the state, has nothing to do with the government. It has everything to do with our servanthood to our creator. Right? وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ هَوْنًا. The servants of the most merciful are they who walk, who live on the earth in humility, in gently. Right? So all this sense of duty towards the common good arises out of our faith, of our sense of our own sense of having this autonomy of moral agency. Because as Muslim, we all believe in the verse, Yauma la yanfa'u malun wala banun illa man atallaha biqalbin salim. On that day, your kids and your children, your wealth shall be of no use to you shall be of no help to you except for those who bring to the meeting with their Lord a sound conscience, a sound heart. And that is the ultimate purpose of Iqtisad, the ultimate purpose of the economy. So for us, the science of economics is both a material science and it's also a moral science. It's about money, but then it's also about what is the moral use of money. It's about wealth, but then it's wealth as money or stuff, but also wealth as well-being, right? Because the original meaning of wealth is well-being, and well-being is not just having a lot of stuff. Well-being means you have a good life, but then when you go out, you see the people around you are also having like a balanced life. So there's a overall balance and harmony between the material side of life and the non-material side of life, and all these meanings are captured in the term Iqtisad, which is not captured in the modern corrupted understanding of economics. It's totally about accumulation for its own sake, totally about the financial bottom line every 3 months. So I mean it's totally different, right? So one is a very narrow, selfish, egoistic understanding of economics, and the other is like is I mean it's holistic. It's a total vision. It's a vision that integrates the life of this world into the life of the next world, right? And that is why in the text Kitab Al-Mukasab wal Ma'ash, we find this saying by Imam Al-Ghazali, which goes, "Ad-dunya masra'atul akhirah." The world is the seedbed of the hereafter. So whatever we do on this earth, we are like farmers who are sowing the seeds in the fields, and then we shall harvest. We shall harvest the result of our work in the next life, and and then and then. So the question is: are we sowing seeds of goodness or seeds of badness? So that is a question. So so anyway, to summarize, so our understanding of economics is both uh, moral and uh, material. Is both this worldly and next worldly, and this world and the next world is like it's like it's like one world. It's like one word. It's not separate, right? So anyway, I think we reach almost. I mean, there's only half an hour. Or we went. All right. So all right. I think I stop here and then we open the floor to for discussion. I think you can read the rest of the paper yourself. By the way, that whole paper is summarized in the shorter. The shorter paper which lists down the main points of the meaning of economy. The paper on the introduction to the Islamic Gift Economy, in which I list down the main points in 3 pages. With that, I stop here and we open the floor for discussion. Thank you. Wassalamu alaikum. All right, so please just start, or first come first serve. Please, I prefer that you just jump in and uh, and say out your question or your comments, or especially I would like especially like to know if anything that I said here or anything in the paper that was unclear. Right. So so along along these lines of thinking, okay, we have arrived at what can be called a formal definition of the Islamic gift economy on page 7 of the paper, the section 7 on defining the purposive economy. So I say here, we have thus defined this purposive economy, which we call the Islamic gift economy, as the provisioning and sharing dash by mutual giving and receiving through fair social and commercial exchange, or through fair, gratuitous, or non-commercial and commercial exchange dash. So provision and sharing of what? Of natural and cultural abundance for realizing material and spiritual well-being. So for us, the economy is not just about material well-being, but it is also about spiritual or non-material well-being, which include quality of family life, quality of societal life, the quality of harmony uh, among people in society, the masyarakat prihatin, or the caring of society. So so all that is kind of is captured by the word gift in the term gift economy. So this definition takes into consideration that the world and humankind are not only material or physical in nature, but more fundamentally they are also spiritual and have a higher metaphysical significance, right? So they serve a cognitive and moral purpose that transcends their immediate physicality, sensuality, utility, and temporality, namely a purpose which is indicative of a higher, more encompassing reality from which they have originated, on which they are perpetually dependent, and in which they are embedded, and to which they are responsive and ultimately accountable. So we thus have here both an economy of the world and an economy of the soul, an economy of the worldly life and an economy of the afterlife, an economy of the material in service of the economy of the spiritual, right? Economy of your private personal interest in the service of the public interest. So in this understanding of economy, that there's no clash between so-called private interest and public interest, because the way we go about engaging in in the economy, the way we go about earning our livelihoods is through the promoting of the livelihoods of others, right? So that is it. That is the understanding. So of course, when we do business or go to work, of course we are looking after our private interest, but then we do it in such a way that we promote also the interests of others, or at least we do no harm to the interests of others. That is the understanding, and this understanding is not just like an abstraction, but something that we believe in. That's something that we believe to be practical, and something that many of us are practicing, right? And recently, many of us were in the Power School program, and after that, the Synthropic dash social permaculture program, and also other activities which were targeted at showing to participants that this is something that is practical and must be practiced, right? Anything that is good is practical if we practice it, right? So we are our own best examples of practice. We are our own proof of concept. All right. All right. With that, I think I stop here, and please, questions, comments. So anyway, so all this summarizes the what we can call the economic philosophy of Kitab al-Kasab wal Ma'ash, which actually not just which actually capture uh, the overall economic philosophy of Islam, right? That is our Islamic economics. All right. Okay. Um, yeah, please. The
Sheikh,
floor is open for. Yeah, please. Okay.
um,
Please identify yourself and
my name is
Mr.
Mir.
Mir. Okay. Yes.
I don't know too much about it, but in terms of like paid money, is cryptocurrency something that we should be looking more into? Is that
All right.
something? Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I have a paper on the concept of money in Islam, and I shall send that paper. And I mean, we have no time to go deep into okay, to money, but then uh, but basically, money is understood as a means of exchange, right? It is something used to exchange goods and services. But then, because of the emphasis on justice, and therefore, money is not just a means of any type of exchange, right? Money must be ethical. I mean, the way money is structured, the system of money must promote not just any exchange, but fair exchange. So for us, or in the context of the Islamic gift economy, money is a means of fair exchange. So any system of money that frustrate this principle or this imperative of fair exchange is not really money, right? like like for instance, the current global money system that is dominated by the US dollar, that is not really money, right? And the fact that we are forced to use it, the dollar, is because of the geopolitical hegemony of the US, and that has a big background history, and not because the dollar is intrinsically a fair and just means of exchange. It's quite unfair. But so that one thing, and then another thing uh, is that a true money system has to be one that is grounded in or founded uh, in a productive economy. All right. So 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 a true fair and square money system must be a system that is supported by actual production. So it cannot be simply printed out of thin air. It cannot be simply like digits that people mine in some computer program. So money system that is not directly linked to actual physical economic production, that money system can be like purely speculative and not really grounded in any real production, and that can be dangerous because and so 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 we need to ask what is the economic productive backing of any money system, whether it's based on gold or silver, or whether it's based on paper money or based on crypto, right? Like like for instance, a network of businesses and business customer alliances. I mean, okay, among themselves, among this network of buyers and sellers, I mean, they can form a business community, uh, and and within them, so as a community, they have uh, they have they have collective economic production, and then they exchange among them, right? They buy and sell among them goods or services, and then they can agree among themselves on a system of currency or payment system rooted in their collective productive economy, and that can be based on a physical token like gold and silver coins, or based on some coupon, or based on some crypto. But the question is, what is the ground of this currency? So that is a question. So whether it's paper money or crypto, we need to ask what is the ground, what is the economic productive ground of that crypto, right? So that is my brief response to that question. But that will need a separate session. And inshallah, we plan to invite Professor Ahmad Kamil Mira Maidin, an expert in money system. Inshallah, maybe to teach a workshop on money system. So we'll cover everything: history of money, different system of money, and paper money and fiat money, and including a disciplined look into the crypto, right? So my advice is to understand the ground of that money, and not just and do not fall for hype, or do not fall for any money system that we do not understand. All right, and I think that's all I can say for now with respect to that question about crypto. Okay, so we still have some time. We still have like a few more minutes before we close.
I just wanted to say thank you, Sheikh. I've learned a lot through this course, and it really opened my eyes.
All right.
I just had another question attached to that is, if we come across new people who aren't like our friends or people like this who are kind of in the system, but sometimes it feels overwhelming for them to think about business or money or uh, muamalat. What's the best things that we could say to them, which is like a good starter for them to think about these things?
Right. I mean, okay, yeah, that's a good question. we have been we have been running the Islamic Gift Economy project for the past 15 years, right? So my advice to all my students and so many of my friends who are who are ulama, who are scholars locally and also internationally, I say to them, we all need to institute a regular teaching of the adab of the fiqh of the maqasid of muamalah, uh, as part of our normal uh, courses in the masjid, in the marasa, and we need to teach teach. I mean, if you have schools or at university, colleges, we need people need to look for programs that that uh, that teach ethical economics or ethical businesses, or like or my or alternative uh, economics, such as ecological economics. So okay, this is something that that people just need to get together wherever wherever that they are, and just get the local mufti, the local sheikh, the local professor, right, to institute uh, this public education in ethical economies, whether from a Islamic point of departure, if you're Muslim, or even from traditional non-Islamic, like for example, Christian, especially the Catholics, they have like a approach to economics that we can agree with, right? It's called based on justice, and likewise the economic system of Confucianism, right? So all right, and apart from that, uh, on a more practical level, since the moment we go out of the homes of our homes and our mosque, we are we are engaged in transaction. We are buying and selling, or we are hiring a taxi, or we are renting a house, or we are hiring a worker, or whatever. So, or we are investing in something. So it's important for Muslim to encourage or to motivate the local masjid, the local marasa. I mean, they are to offer regular courses in the basics of the fiqh of Mamala, the basic of the ahkam of buying and selling, the basic of the ahkam, the rules of renting or hiring or leasing, the basic of the rules of partnership, the rules of the rules, the do and don'ts of the many transactions that we are always engaged in the moment we go out of, of our homes, even if we are not like professional business people, right? I mean, so that is important, and then to teach that fiqh in the context of this of the adab that we have gone through throughout the 11 modules of the course. So I suggest regular teaching by your local teachers and professors and sheikh and muftis of the kitab al-Muqassad wal Ma'ash, so that people are all on the same ethical page, right? With respect to the true meaning of the economic life and the true purpose of the economic life, and then so have the ethical vision, a collective ethical vision. And then when it comes to the practicals, then then like basic introductory courses on the rules of buying and selling, the rules of hiring and listing, and yeah and yeah and this is something that must be done, right? So when we do that, we inshallah we shall set in motion a moral and an ethical redirection of the economy from the current dog eat dog culture to a wholesome, prosper Thai neighbor culture. That's okay. That's all I okay. That's all I can say. So what we do here at the Islamic Gift Economy or at the Institute of Regenerative Regenerative Livelihood is like I think I see we see our work here as it's kind of almost like catalyst. No, you're in chemistry, you throw in some catalyst, then the reactions become more robust, and then so we hope that that people can replicate what we do here in their respective context, in their respective communities, whether in the east or the west, because you have your own local scholars, your own local professors, your own local intellectuals, your own local mufti, sheikh, and many of them, in fact, most of them are really ethical people, and sometimes they need to be motivated, and they need to feel that people want this, right? That people want this economic literacy, right? So I think that's all I can say for now. But at RIL, we plan to expand our offering of courses, which to include other teachers, not just myself, but other teachers and also to include more technical or more courses like for like money system. Yeah, that's okay, and that is all I can say. And but I think and also make alliances with like-minded people, Muslim or non-Muslim, but like-minded people who care about bringing back ethics to economics, right? So yeah. So inshallah, so through that work, we create local groups, people who can come together and then can start and start to get things moving intellectually, and inshallah also in terms of practical projects. So that is all I can say with respect to that question, right? So I hope this it helps, right?
I think there's another question.
Oh, okay, please.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name
What's
is
up,
Dian.
Dian
Uh,
from Indonesia?
yes, Uh, I'm actually from Johor, but I'm working in working at Sabah at the moment. I used to join one summer school, and I've attended your talk several times. So yeah, I'm sorry that this is my only time I got to join.
Okay,
I really love the topic. I really learned a lot today. I have a question about uh, fair pricing and tipping in like a general philosophy, I guess. For
fair,
example, fair
fair price.
pricing of
Okay,
something. Yeah. So for okay, I'll give context. So for example, so I used to study abroad. I used to study under scholarship in Ireland, UK, like that. So things are more expensive there. For example, so sometimes when I'm locally, I I feel this ethical urge to tip. So for example, car wash here can be as little as, for example, 8 ringgit, or maybe a bit fancy one can be 15 ringgit or 20 ringgit. And then sometimes I feel like, what is it really that cheap? For someone else's, 1 hour of work. I feel like it's not right. So sometimes I would give some tips. That's just a silly example. But sometimes I also give tips for other things like Grab or whatever. And then a certain family member would be like, you shouldn't be so spendthrift. I mean, you need to save money for yourself too. This is market price. You can't compare, but I couldn't help but have this, internal battle of, what is fair, when do I give too little? When do I give too much? I want to show that I appreciate this person's labor, which I think is unfair in the local, climate. But how would in Islam, how do we set a fair price for something? Um, I don't know.
okay. So fair price is basically just price,
Yeah.
just
Yes.
meaning a price that is not disadvantageous to the other party.
Mm.
So
Mm.
and that will depend on the local economic context, right? Like for example, I live now in like away from the big city. I'm okay away from KL. I live in a small town, and therefore the cost of living here in my current home is quite. I mean, it's much lower than the cost of living in KL. Therefore, so fair price in in a small town context can be different, like in absolute terms from fair price in a big city, because in a big city the cost of living is higher than the cost, then fair price is higher. So fair or just price, fair wages, and so on, is a function of the local market condition, right? And also a function of the local cost of living. Like Ireland, yeah, of course. I mean, like so, but so yeah, so what you do here is like like Sabah, Sabah, because it's I mean, like certain things are higher, prices of certain goods and services are higher by a few percentage points than in West Malaysia. So yeah, because of the distance and transport and so on. So but so long as the uh, as the price that you pay, or the wage that you pay, or the upah that you pay for local services is I mean uh, is reasonable within the context of the local market condition. So that's okay, and and it's totally commendable to give something extra, right? To show your to show your appreciation of the work of the uh, of of the worker. Like for example, like to wash a car for half an hour and 8 ringgit, I think it's kind of low, right? But even if it's like a fair price, they're quite kind of like. And then if you are middle class, you have like and you, I mean, then it's good and it's commendable, it's ihsan to give to give to give extra, like okay, like the case in point, the fair price or the fair, I mean, a taxi fare or grab fare from the KLIA airport to KL is depending on whether you use grab or taxi. The fare is between 60 to 100 ringgit, right? So within that range, or maybe 110, so that's fair, right? So depending on the size of the car and how much luggage, and normally I pay extra to the cab driver, and I tend to pay extra to my workers. So in general, these people like cab drivers or laborers, they are kind of like they're they're they have just enough, okay, they earn just enough to live on, and therefore it is commendable to give tips. I mean, not to overdo it, but to give, for example, if the fare is 65 ringgit, I sometimes just take 80 or 70. So so that is commendable. Let's say if you're a shop, and if you can give a discount to the poor, right? But we do not tip the rich. We do not so that, and we do not overpay, right? I mean, so because overpaying is considered to be wasteful. I mean, so on one hand, we can be generous and magnanimous to the poor, or uh, to the workers, and then we but when buy from the rich, or when buy from big companies, I mean, that there is absolutely no need to give tips. And I've got it. So the tipping and to give extra is basically okay. It's commended for those who are like, I mean, the the small businesses, the small traders, and therefore when we buy from the from the small traders, from the small shops, I mean, I normally do not haggle. I normally do not bargain. I mean, I do not. I just ask what is the price, and so long as I find the price to be reasonable, right, plus minus a few ringgit, right, I just pay. I mean, I do not argue. I do not ask for discount. So I think that's so okay. So in general, fair price, or just find a price uh, that is reasonable uh, in the context of the local market situation, right? Like for example, I pay last time, like a few years ago, I pay my worker 80 ringgit per day, meaning from 9 to 4 work. And but if the work is outdoor and under the hot sun, maybe I pay a bit extra. And the way I decide that wage, I first I ask him, okay, how much do you ask for per day for this work? And so long as my workers say, okay, so much, like 80 ringgit to 100 ringgit, and that I know that is the normal wage, right? So I just accept, and I never haggle, right? But of course in KL, that's, I mean definitely that would be maybe at least 150, right? So it depends. So 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 it is commendable to give extra or to tip when we buy from for small traders or from cab cab drivers and so forth. Because these people they are not. I mean, they're not having. I mean, they're not rich, and many of them are just making just enough. So it's good for us to be kind, to be big-hearted to to these people, but not to waste our money giving tips or extra to those who are rich, to the big companies, the big no. I mean, so I think that's how I would. I can. I I hope this answer your question.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Ali.
Right? Like for instance, for example, I buy rice from Sri Lovely. Right? It's a farm run by a local community, and they grow and sell organic rice. Right?
Mm.
So they sell for 1 kilo packet, vacuum pack, 20 ringgit per kilo. Right?
Mm.
But I know I mean it's quite high, right? But that price, I know that price to be reflective of the cost, right?
Mm. Yep.
In fact, maybe not even enough to cover cost. I mean, so
Yeah.
I because no, okay, because it's a small scale and it's like organic and it's more labor intensive. They need to pay the workers that all kind of stuff. But then
Mm.
so and I buy and I just how much I just buy and I never haggle. I
Mm.
don't, oh, why is your rice so much more than the normal than the organic rice that is imported from Thailand or from Vietnam? No, it's
Mm.
different. But the ones that are imported by big companies, they bring in volumes, right? But this like by a small farm, so it's different. And so
Mm.
so 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 I know, I know it's totally reasonable given their context, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
so to understand fair price, you need to be sensitive. You need to be aware of local economic conditions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you need to you need to be invested in your community, right? I see.
That's true. I
So
suppose it becomes like a double kind of benefit because on the one hand you pay and you get the product, and on the other hand you pay extra money for the Sri Lovely rice, but at the same time it's like an investment for their long-term sustainability. Whereas I really like what you said about don't give too much money to big companies because especially when we don't know their intentions, because some people, maybe we if we give them money they profit more, but they actually don't pay their employees more because they
like
become corporate
like,
greed. I don't know,
for
maybe it's
instance,
just me.
yeah, like for instance, now okay, now in every, like even in every small town in Malaysia, you have this boutique cafe, right? And
Mm.
like, right. So so I prefer to enjoy my cup of coffee with friends.
uh
Small family owned
mm.
uh,
Mm.
cafe. Each cafe is
Mm.
unique, and
Mm-hmm.
therefore we so it's better to give businesses
Mm-hmm.
or uh, uh, with small family-owned local shops than to buy from the big chain stores. You see,
That's
right?
true.
Because but on the other hand, we cannot be too dichotomous. But because even the big store, they employ local workers, right? Right.
Mm.
So 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 anyway, okay. Let's, so the point here is that when we go to a shop, uh, the purpose is that the purpose of buying something is not just uh for myself, but also we make the intention that through the money that I pay, right? The money
Mm-hmm.
goes into the pockets of the boss, and then from boss to the pockets of the workers, and from okay, it goes into the families. So so you have to imagine in your mind how uh, how each dollar you spend goes into supporting this or that aspect of the local economy, right? Whether you buy from a small shop or from a chain store, or right. So, but in general, best to buy local, and so that the money fit into the local economy, because normally when buy from the big store, most of the money is it just it go outside the community. So right. So anyway, to so to understand what is the fair price uh in a local in your local community or your town, you need to be aware uh, of your local economic dynamics, right? So yeah, and that is good, because then that's good. Then you're aware of how people earn their livelihood, and so and so so yeah, so so fair price is contextual, and what is fair price in one place may not may be unfair price in another place. What is fair price or fair wage here, where I live, may be unfair wage or too low a wage in KL. So so it depends, right? Okay, I think I think we need to stop. I do not want to go way above the time. So alhamdulillah, and thank you again for attending this last session of the guided reading and discussion educational course on the both of the properties of earning and living. And this last session is basically uh, what is the economic philosophy that we can derive from the text. So yeah, right, and inshallah, I will send a few more papers after this, so that you can read them in your free time, and helps in uh, in in building up your creative thinking about the nature and content and purpose of the economic life, right? And I here and I, so before we end, I hereby announce the award of the certificates of attendance and the certificates of guided study to the approximately 12 students who have earned, or who have qualified for for the certificates, because they have been diligent in attending most of the classes, right? And the certificates will be emailed to you in PDF. So with that, I conclude this session, and thank you once again, and take care, and may Allah help us all in getting us to work together to revive the gift economy among ourselves, for Muslim and also for non and also for non-Muslim. And when it come to the ethic economy, I believe that is something that both Muslim and non-Muslim can agree on. And I personally have been working and is still working with non-Muslim in this area of reviving an economy for the common good. With that, again, thank you. Take care. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alaikum salam, jazakallah khair.
Walaikum salam.
Right. Bye. Thank you.